Hi, everybody. Judy Maggio. We at Austin PBS and Decibel are doing our best to follow the lead of the late Mr. Rogers when he said, look for the helpers. So we are going to be interviewing a lot of the nonprofits locally to find out how we can help the helpers in this difficult time our community and our country are facing. Joining me now is Derek Chubbs, the CEO and president of the Central Texas Food Bank. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for allowing me to be here, Judy.
First, Derek, I want to know the scope of your mission because I don't think people realize in general how many people really depend on the food bank for nutrition throughout the year, really.
Yeah. Well, we are the largest hunger relief agency in Central Texas, Judy. We cover 21 counties. It's an area twice the size of the state of Massachusetts. And during a normal week, through a network of about 250 partner agencies, we distribute food to approximately 46 to 50,000 Central Texans on a weekly basis.
So how has COVID-19, this pandemic, impacted the distribution of your food and how you operate so far?
Aside from the fact that it is moving, as we know, this exercise has been very, very fluid, from the number of individuals that can convene together to yesterday's closures of restaurants. But my first exercise was to try and do everything I could to create an environment that minimized the risk of our workforce. First order was to try and make sure that I minimized the risk for the team. The second came from basically how we distribute our food. And that change is changing dramatically. So I'll just go to ultimately where we think we'll need to be.
Right.
And where I think we'll need to be is a model that allows us to do a bit of a drop and go. By that I mean package the food, have the food prepackaged where we can drop it off. And we're having conversations with our partner agencies today to see if ultimately we can get through a drive-through model to minimize as much direct contact as we possibly can.
I know that people feel a little bit helpless right now and they want to help. What help do you need? What can the average person in Central Texas provide to your organization so they can help their neighbors in need?
Well, to add a little backdrop and a bit of context to this, we depend heavily on donations from our retail grocers. About 65% of what we distribute is actually donated food. Well, we've all seen the shelves, and we know that the shelves are empty at our retail grocers now. So they don't have food to donate to us. So what we're having to do is purchase food. Now, we can take $1 and turn that into 4 meals. So I would say one of the things that we need now is financial donations to enable us to purchase more food, not only for the core group, the 46 to 50,000, because of less supply being donated, but for that increased numbers that we know we're going to see, that we're already seeing as restaurants close and schools close, and those are friends and neighbors that are working diligently there that may end up in our lines as well. The second piece is we still need volunteers. We are open for business, and we are developing models where we have fewer volunteers so we can exercise social distancing. So where we could accommodate or would likely accommodate 120 volunteers per shift, we've gotten that down to around 40. Thank goodness, thank the mayor for allowing us to be in a classification that would allow us to continue to focus on CDC guidelines. But we're doing 2 shifts of 20 to keep them separated, and we can exercise social distancing that way as well. So we still need volunteers. And just simply like always, go to centraltexasfoodbank.org and sign up.
I know that people are especially as we find more and more of us, working from home like we are at Austin PBS, they want to give back to the community, but they're also concerned about being exposed to other people. So you talked about the social distancing. What would people actually be doing if they came to your organization to volunteer?
What we're doing now is packaging emergency food boxes.
I see.
We have the food out. We have the boxes that we're having to purchase, by the way, which is not something that we normally do. And we have them on an assembly line, and they literally are adding food into a box as it goes down the line. And we have them separated so that they're around 5 or 6 feet apart from each other. Even when we're giving them their orientation, we have them separated while we're even going through the orientation. So right now, our sole focus, Judy, is building emergency food boxes. We're building them on site. We've been fortunate enough to have a couple of faith-based organizations set up inside the churches, since they're not necessarily having services, and we're dropping off food to them. They're building them for us, but we will have to get to a point where we can distribute around 25,000 of those every week just on our mobile pantries. We're not even taking into account our partner agencies. So we need to get up to about 100,000 of those really quickly within the next week.
I like the idea of reaching out to the faith groups, because a lot of these churches and people of faith are trying to give back, and they can't gather for a worship service, but this would be a way they could gather and continue whatever mission their faith dictates to help our neighbors in need.
Yes. As we are having this conversation, we have 2 locations that are building emergency food boxes for us. And at the end of the day, we'll have another 1,200 of them. So 1,200 boxes. So that is very, very important to us, what we're able to build off site. And we're adding more as time progresses. We have to go out and evaluate the site because it's food. We have to make sure that it's safe. We have to make sure that they're set up and that they understand that Absolutely. We're trying to honor social distancing even with them. So I feel pretty confident and excited that the community is stepping up. The other part of that is we definitely are going to need the financial donations so we can continue to buy more food, and because that's just where we are today.
So let's go over one more time, Derek, where people can find the information they need if they want to help the Central Texas Food Bank.
I want to make sure that everyone understands where they can find food. And that's very important. So if you go to the website, the very first thing that's going to pop up is a button that says Find Food Now. You press that button, a map will literally come up in front of you. You enter your zip code, and every place in our 21 counties where we're distributing food, it will be referenced. And you enter your zip code, and all the partner agencies, mobile pantries, and channels of distribution that we're using in that zip code will pop up. It'll also tell you whether it's hot food, whether it's groceries, and their hours of operation. That's one. And I want your audience to know how they can get food, because that's very important, and that's our mission. The second piece, from the same website, you can also make a financial donation, and you can also volunteer. So those are the things that I want the community to know: how to get food, and the other components is how to help us.
Very good. Well, I think you've given us a great overview picture of your mission in the community and how people can help. And good luck to you, Derek, and your team with the Central Texas Food Bank as we weather this storm together.
Thank you so very much, Judy. We really appreciate it. And thank you for what you do in supporting myself as well as my peers across Central Texas. You're doing wonderful service to us. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. It's our honor. Take care, Derek, and thanks again.
Same here. Bye-bye. Be safe.
You too.